Okay, so we're actually going to talk about this just a little bit more since we are already in the cut-in. Let's just keep talking through it. Once again, we do have this tornado warning. It is now for Montgomery County. This is through 7:30 p.m. This includes Fairland, White Oak, portions of I-95, North Laurel. You're a little to the north of it. Laurel, it's heading towards you. So White Oak, Fairland, North Laurel, and Laurel, head to your safe space. Once again, this is a radar indicated tornado warning inside a severe thunderstorm warning. So our outliers are just to the east of Rockville, near Silver Spring, just a little to the north there, Beltsville, Bowie, and just clipping Severn. You are dealing with this severe thunderstorm warning, and as it pushes a little further to the east, if it is allowed to live, we will see Severn and portions of Anne Arundel County in this tornado warning. This is not our only system here. This is not our only cluster of thunderstorms and tornadic activity, or at least radar indicated tornadic activity. Off towards portions of Virginia, you see near Clinton, just to the south of the 495 corridor, you're dealing with a tornado warning there as well. That is condensing, so that is suggesting that it is getting smaller, hopefully going to be allowed to expire soon. I believe that one is until 7:15, but may be allowed to expire a little bit sooner. And then off towards the east of Front Royal, we also see another little cluster of thunderstorms and another tornado warning there. Once again, we're just going to walk you through this here. Storm relative velocity, I'm not seeing as much of a signature here, so it looks like this near Fairland is weakening just a little bit. Let's also turn on radar lightning here so you guys can get an idea of just how much energy is associated with this system and how many strikes we're currently having. Near Fairland, we're not seeing a whole lot of lightning activity. It's starting to diminish, which is a good sign. It means this system is starting to weaken. But we're still under tornado warning for portions of Montgomery County until 7:30 p.m. So we are going to keep talking about this. This is near the I-95 corridor, near Highway 29, and just to the east of the 495 corridor. This system as a whole, as we've been talking about tonight in the 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and now 7 o'clock hours, has a history of rotation and has a history of strong winds, even outside of a tornado warning. So those of us in Montgomery County who are under this tornado warning, take shelter. Those of you in that yellow flashing polygon, a little bit larger of an area covered here, not a bad idea to know where that safe spot is because you are under a severe thunderstorm warning. And even with that, we can see strong gusty winds, the potential for some hail and some heavy rain. We're also going to take a look at some cameras. This is portions of I-95 southbound, and it looks like traffic is moving okay. It does look like there's quite a bit of moisture still left on the roadway, so if rain is not actively coming down in this area, you're certainly going to get some kickback from the person in front of you. So if you are planning to travel, just be mindful of your destination. I would not head anywhere towards Fairland, even the I-95 corridor to the south of Columbia. It's not a good place to be. Rain alone is going to make it hard to drive through. This is not our only area. This is our only severe warned system in Maryland. We do see near Clinton a little bit of that starting to clip here to the south of Alexandria. But outside of that, and outside of the severe thunderstorm warning, this is really our only activity in the area. Now we do see a little bit of rotation with this radar indicated. We do not have a confirmed tornado on the ground, but anybody to the north of Bowie, to the east of Rockville, and to the west of Severn needs to take cover or at least know where that storm shelter is, because even though this is radar indicated, this is a potentially dangerous situation. We do see a little lightning to the north of Hampstead. There's not a whole lot of energy outside of that to the north. A lot of this energy will be filtering in from the south. And just to talk a little bit more about this system as a whole, I do want to also mention some graphics here. It's also going to show the polygons in this graphic too. But we have a tornado watch really for the entirety of the state until the midnight hour. So rolling into the very early hours of your Saturday morning. We have a cluster of some thunderstorms with a history of rotation, one active tornado warning in the area, and a couple further to the south and to the west. So we do expect a long evening. I do recommend having a weather radio, some app downloaded. I know we have an app, WMAR2 News. You can search it in the App Store. That will get you the latest. That will get you those weather updates. We're also looking here at, I believe, Maryland 200 East near Creekside. There's a lot more rain over here, and you can see there's a lot more kickback as well. With this tornado warning and radar indicated rotation here, I do want to mention this is inside of a severe thunderstorm warning, and much like 2 weeks ago when we were talking about a tornado warning, it's going to be rain wrapped. It's going to be very hard to see. And once again, we have all the right ingredients with this tornado watch being our foundation. We had sunlight throughout the day. We have shear, we have instability, which makes for the ability for these storms to create rotation. And just to give you an overview, and we'll get back to radar here in just a second, this is all associated with a low pressure system pushing through. We had warm air lift through. We were in the warm sector as we went throughout our Friday. You throw in some sunshine there, instability makes for breeding ground for these thunderstorms to really blossom, and we're seeing that now. Now this frontal system a little further to the south near the South Carolina and North Carolina area, this is what's going to push through as we go into Saturday and spark some more showers and storms, although that severe potential does start to go down. Let's wrap back up and go back to radar here to see what's going on. We still have this tornado warning near Fairland. It does look like Montgomery County still under this tornado warning. Right now it's just radar indicated. You can see here I-95 northbound now. Quite a bit of traffic backed up there. A lot of brake lights. They may be heading into some heavy rain. Traffic is slowing for this reason. If they're anywhere near Bowie and portions of the I-95 corridor, which we're seeing here, that might be impacting those travel times and those travel conditions. So if you are stuck in this, pull over to the side of the road. If you have the ability, make sure to have those caution lights on and make sure your lights are on if you're not able to get through it. But as we talk about this, we're seeing a little bit of lightning still linger as we talk towards Highway 29 here and North Laurel. Once again, this system is lingering from White Oak, spanning to Fairland to North Laurel, now heading towards Jessup, and South Laurel, you're still in the contending for some of this to impact you. I'm not seeing a whole lot of strong rotation at the moment. We are seeing some high winds with this, but the system hopefully is going to be allowed to expire soon. It's expected to last until 7:30, but keeping a close eye on things here, I am hopeful that it is starting to die down as it continues to push to the north and to the east. But still, it is inside this severe thunderstorm warning. So even if this tornado warning is allowed to expire, we still have strong gusty winds. We still have a lot of rain associated with this system as well. We are under a flood watch starting at the beginning of the 7 o'clock hour, and this extends into the early hours of Saturday morning. So even with this thunderstorm and tornadic potential here starting to hopefully diminish, we still have our primary concern being heavy rainfall pushing through. And we're going to see that on roadways. We're going to see that with the drainage system, ponding and pooling on the roadways. So make sure if you are planning to travel, which I do not recommend at this point, you are doing so safely. This is not our only system that we're going to be talking about. Once again, this is Montgomery County here, but we're starting to see a little bit more development off to the north and to the west. You saw that uptick in lightning as it crossed over from West Virginia here and lingers a little bit more in West Virginia, trying to make its way to Maryland. We have a tornado warning here just to the south of I-68 and to the south of I-70. It's not in Maryland just yet, but it's important to note that this is heading towards the Maryland state line from West Virginia. This is a messy and strong system that is producing strong thunderstorms and rotation. We need to be weather aware as we go throughout the next several hours of tonight. Once again, that watch is until midnight, and that flood watch is until around 4 a.m. on Saturday morning. So Rain will hit, wind will hit. We see the potential of some strong winds and some hail associated with it. You see a person here on the side of the road with the I-95 camera here at Maryland 216 pulled off to the side of the road with their caution lights on. This is not an ideal spot to be in, but I don't know their circumstances. This is the safest position that they believe that they can be in. So if you are driving and somehow getting this broadcast, take it slow and take it easy. There will be people on the side of the road who do not want to drive through this, and everyone needs to get to their destination safely. We're going to see a lot of rain with this system alone. At the beginning of the 5 o'clock hour, we actually were looking at some of these thunderstorms, and we saw an inch of rain associated with a few of these thunderstorms, and these were not fast moving. That's not good if you're in a flood-prone area, meaning if these thunderstorms stall out, more rain is going to hover over you. And with this low pressure wraparound moisture, we're seeing thunderstorms bubble up like we do now, but we're going to see more move in that same track, in that same path, and that's going to really bump our totals. So we're going to see anywhere from 1 to even 3 to even 3+ inches of rain by the time the system is through with us going into Saturday. So make sure those sump pumps are on. Once again, we're just going to look over here at this Montgomery tornado warning near North Laurel, just to the west of Severn, near Jessup, Burtonsville, North Laurel, Fairland, White Oak. You are still in this. This does include Beltsville, but that rotation, radar indicated, is to the north and to the west of you. We're still seeing some lightning associated with this little cell here near North Laurel and Highway 32 along the I-95 corridor. So there's a lot of rain and still some thunderstorm activity associated with this. We're just going to take you through a little bit of this. Okay, that's good. We are seeing a little less rotation. Those vibrant colors here, that indicates stronger winds, a little bit of rotation, especially when you see that coupling with the reds and greens there to really simplify it. We're seeing that start to diminish the further to the east it goes. You see how it's bright and vibrant near Fairland, but as it pushes towards Burtonsville, it's still there. It's still very much there, but it's a little less of a signature on radar here. A little less of that coupling between the reds and the greens, but still strong winds nonetheless. We're going to keep a close eye on things, and we're going to walk you through this, I think, to the extent of this tornado warning. Let's check on this severe thunderstorm warning. This is for the same time and location as well through 7:30 p.m. Looking at I-95 here, southbound. You're seeing some traffic, some backup there at the exit, but traffic is still moving, which is good. We want traffic to keep moving along the I-95 corridor. It's going to be slow at times, especially as this rain pushes through. You're going to see traffic slow down because it's going to be hard to see. So, taking a wide look here again, we're seeing even more tornado warnings pop up. This system has a lot of rotation associated with it. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red polygons there, which indicates radar indicated rotation. I don't believe we have a confirmed tornado at the time, but we certainly have tornado indicated winds through radar. I am looking at the National Weather Service's chat here. Emergency Services for Montgomery County, Maryland, is saying thus far no damage reports received within the tornado warning polygon in Montgomery County. Our 911 system is experiencing a normal call volume. So it doesn't look like they're overwhelmed with calls right now. And it does look like a new one in Virginia, a new tornado warning has just popped up near Interstate 66 here. And so we're just seeing a lot of activity on radar tonight. The National Weather Service was very good on the call of making the tornado watch issued around the 5 o'clock hour and extending it through the midnight hour. We have a lot of ingredients that are meeting the qualifications here for a tornado warning and for severe thunderstorms pushing through. So as we talk about tonight, if you hear your town, especially mentioning Montgomery County, this is the time to be in your safe space. US 29 South here, we're going to filter through a little cameras through MoDOT, Maryland Department of Transportation, to check on traffic and just to see if we can see anything. You're seeing some caution lights here as we look to the right side of the screen. People are running into some heavy rain. It is very hard to see just from this camera alone, and rain is not being kicked back at it. So drivers are experiencing some hazards on those roadways. Traffic has certainly slowed and has been impacted by this system, and you're going to see a lot of people start to turn on those hazard lights and those brake lights as they try to push through. We're going to continue to look at this system as a whole. This is associated with a strong low pressure system that is moving over our area and eventually will move offshore as we roll into the latter half of Saturday. But until then, it's going to make a mess of our weather as we go into the next several hours. Once again, that tornado watch until midnight. This tornado warning in Montgomery County until 7:30 p.m. We're seeing a lot of lightning across the state as well. More than 100 strikes as we look towards the totals here, and that indicates strong clusters of thunderstorms, and that also signifies the rain and the thunderstorm activity around these systems are fairly strong. A lot of lightning associated with it, which poses its own hazards. Not enough to warrant a thunderstorm warning. That's more so for wind and hail, but lightning is still certainly a factor. You do not want to go outside when there's a lot of lightning pushing through. So while I wait on a little bit more information from the National Weather Service, we're going to take you through a normal forecast for the time being and check back at the top of this radar here in the next few seconds. So let's talk you through it. Looking at radar, we see quite a bit of activity pushing through, mostly towards Montgomery for the time being in Maryland. And as we zoom in just a little bit more, you can see this is one of many systems trying to make its way into Maryland. And so we are going to be talking about an active evening as far as thunderstorms go and as far as tornadic activity, since we're already starting to see a little bit of that situation already in Montgomery County. This is the tornado watch, and it's pretty much the entirety of the state. This includes West Virginia, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, and portions of Pennsylvania. So this low pressure system is a strong one, and it is stirring things up in the atmosphere. We're also going to periodically check at these cameras here and talk a little bit about what we're seeing on them. If you are planning to travel, I would not recommend it, especially to the south and anywhere south or northbound with the I-95 corridor if it's near Bowie or Clinton or anywhere to the south of Baltimore proper. You're going to run into some heavy rain and at the very least some gusty winds and some lightning. You're also going to see a lot of traffic. You see a lot of headlights there. People trying to get to their destination, trying to get home from work, especially at this hour, and running into not the greatest conditions for driving. You're going to also see a lot of hazard lights start to pop up as well. So I do not recommend any travel at this point. These are our primary concern right now, but rain is also a huge factor as we go into tonight. We see a flood watch already active throughout a good chunk of the state as well, and that was prompted at the beginning of the 7 o'clock hour. So this is all from this severe outlook that we saw earlier issued today from the Storm Prediction Center. This is a 2 out of 5 risk, so a slight risk for tornadic activity as well as severe thunderstorm activity. We're in the 5% margin for tornadic activity. You can see that 5% is proving to be pretty accurate at this point, since we do see a tornado warning in Montgomery County still active. We're going to be talking about this tornado watch throughout the evening, but it pretty well mirrors this graphic here in showing that really the entirety of the state has the right conditions for some spin-up tornadoes. Now, as we look at Maryland 295 here at Highway 32 north, you are dealing with, once again, what we just saw at the I-95 corridor. A lot of traffic, a lot of rain, and a lot of hazard lights being kicked on because this is just really hard to see in, drive in, or get to your destination in. So please drive safely. If you have to go in your car, do so very, very carefully. We actually sent a reporter out. I believe Raven will be checking in once we come back into programming to talk about some rain and some flood-prone areas that we expect to have some issues from the heavy rainfall pushing through. So we'll check in on that later on this evening. But this is the culprit for what we're seeing right now with all these thunderstorm warnings and our active tornado warning in Montgomery County. That is still active and condensing, which is the good part here, but still very much active, and it is expected to expire right around 7:30. This low pressure system has a warm front associated with it. We were in a warm sector today. Then we have this cold front trying to make its way through, and it's battling it out. And we are seeing those thunderstorms really start to take advantage of that instability that we got throughout the day, thanks to humidity and that sunshine that we got this afternoon. You never want sunshine on a day like today because it makes for thunderstorm fuel later on in the evening, which we are seeing now. So as we talk about your evening tonight, we will have some spotty thunderstorms, as we already see, the potential for some tornadoes. Wind and rain will be a factor as we roll into Saturday, and then we will finally take a breath as we go into Sunday and see sunshine and calm conditions finally return. I guess we just had to move into a new month before we got that in our forecast. I do also want to check in on temperatures here. You can see where a lot of that activity has been to the west of us. That is where some of that rain-cooled air is. And hopefully in the 7 o'clock hour, since we are seeing some of that rain cool off our temperatures, that will stabilize us as we head later on into the evening. That is the hope, but that is not a guarantee. So we're going to have to be on our toes as we go throughout the rest of the evening. So let's go back to radar here. Let's get a check. Let's tally it up as far as tornado warnings. In our area, there's only one. It is allowed to expire at this moment at 7:30. In its history, we've seen it span closer to Rockville and then condense more and more. That's good. We want it completely out of here, though. We're still seeing lightning associated with it. That lightning is a little further to the north. And if we zoom in here, get a better idea, there is two separate parts of this system here. A little further to the south of Laurel, near Greenbelt and Bowie. It is kind of converged and moved in with this one that has been hovering over White Oak, Fairland, and North Laurel. This is in the past 15 or 30 minutes or so. And this is still a severe warned thunderstorm and also a tornado warning. Checking on velocity here, we're still seeing those vibrant colors. We're still seeing radar indicated rotation here. Once again, that coupling isn't as strong as it was earlier, but there is still rotation there, and that's why that tornado warning is still warranted, and that is why it has not been allowed to expire. White Oak, you are now being clipped out of this tornado warning. I would still say keep a close eye on radar and on weather updates, but right now I think it's okay for you to come out of your safe space. North Laurel, you are still in the thick of it. Laurel, you are still in the thick of it. It does look like it's heading right up that I-95 corridor with very strong winds at the very least. But this is radar indicated tornadic activity. So if you're in North Laurel, portions of Montgomery County, until 7:30 or until this is allowed to expire, I want you in those safe spaces. I want you to be safe as we walk you through this. Now, I'm going to take a moment here to look through the National Weather Service's chat. So each meteorologist has a name tag, and we are allowed access to a group chat that has our National Weather Service, so other meteorologists who look at these storms and issue these watches and warnings. They all talk to each other and let us know what's going on, because as much as we want to have eyes everywhere, it helps to have a few extra pair helping you out and looking as well. So it looks like there is a little bit more cloud activity off towards Martinsburg, West Virginia. We do see some tornado warnings out in West Virginia, so they're keeping an eye there. And we're waiting for more information on portions of North PG County, Howard County, and Montgomery County to see what this system is doing. Okay, so they've added a new polygon to this system here, and this includes North Laurel, portions of Burtonsville, and heading towards Columbia. This is taking a different track than this other one, which has actually been widened to now include Jessup, Laurel, South Laurel. You are still in this polygon here, but my main concern is with Jessup, Severn, Elk Ridge. Even though you both are outside of this polygon, you're getting some heavy rain, and you're going to see a little bit of the system start to move towards you. We're still seeing lightning associated with this. This is near Highway 32. This does include Savage, Campbell, Jessup. You are in one of the two red polygons, these tornado warnings here. Hillcrest Heights, North Laurel, West Laurel, and North Laurel Park. You are my primary concerns with this. If you have heard your town name, or if you know someone in these areas, give them a call. Make sure they are in their safe space. They are getting weather alerts. They are in a small interior room, preferably on the lowest level of their house. But if they do not have a lowest level, not everyone does, an interior closet with no windows and a wall between you and the outdoors is going to be your safest bet. We're going to keep a close eye on this. Okay, good. It looks like that larger polygon has been allowed to expire right on the mark, 7:30 there. So everything that included Fairland, South Laurel, Laurel, Beltsville, White Oak, you are now in the clear from this tornado warning. It also looks like this severe thunderstorm warning has been allowed to expire, which is good news as well. You're still going to see rain and you're still going to hear thunder in these areas, but you are no longer inside of this tornado warning. Let's find out the information of this new condensed near North Laurel, this tornado warning. This is for Howard County. This is until 8 p.m. This is the newest one issued for Howard County. This is heading towards Columbia. Portions of Highway 32 are included in this. Jessup, you are on the very outskirts of this tornado warning, but I still want you guys to be on your toes. I want you to make sure that you're still in your safe space because you're still getting some winds and some rain from this. This may also clip Elk Ridge, and if it pushes further to the north, it looks like Catonsville will also be included in this if it pushes and survives a little further to the north. We're going to take a moment here to look at US 29 north at Brooklyn. Pardon me if that is not the proper pronunciation, but US 29 north. We're seeing some traffic here. You're seeing some people pull over under the underpass. Please do not do this. This is not a good idea, especially if you are in the area where this tornado warning is. Underpasses may seem like a safe space to stop, but it hinders traffic. And if a tornado pushes through that area or some strong winds, that acts as a vacuum. That is not a safe spot to park. If you have to park there, okay. But if you can keep moving, I would suggest doing so. You're going to see a lot of kickback from this rain. I will mention, do not try to go outside and look for this rotation. You are not going to be able to see it. This is heavily rain wrapped at this point. All these vibrant colors here on radar indicate rain at this point with reflectivity. We have quite a bit of rain pushing through with this system. So even if a tornado is touching, which we have not confirmed just yet, you're not going to be able to see much. So please stay safe. If you want to get pictures once you're outside of the polygon, be my guest. But I want you to be safe at the very front of this. You want to be safe and in that safe place. So let's look a little bit more on this wide scope here and see that activity. We're seeing two more near Clinton, just to the south of Camp Springs. We're going to be talking about portions of Friendly being clipped by this, Highway 301. Camp Springs, you are not quite in this, but this is heading towards you, and eventually Forestville and Upper Marlboro. This is not in our area, but we all have friends and family in different parts of Maryland. So just make sure that they are okay. Give them a call. Make sure that they are in their safe space. This is a messy system. Much like 2 weeks ago on a Friday, much like tonight, we're seeing a lot of activity. Some severe warned storms further to the west that are heading our way, and some tornado warnings. Once again, our only one for portions of Maryland, at least heading towards the city proper, is in Howard County, and this is active until 8 p.m. This is heading towards Columbia. This includes North Laurel, portions of the I-95 corridor. Looks like a little lightning is associated with it as well. It does look like Broken Land Parkway is what I meant to say earlier in Howard County. We were seeing quite a bit of rain there, and possibly that car parked under an overpass. Kelly was nice enough to write that down for me and help me out here. But we are looking at this tornado warning in Howard County. We're just going to keep talking you through it. We're going to keep checking things. We're going to make sure that you guys are safe here because, once again, this system has a history of spinning and rotation, and we're seeing that here live in action with radar indicated rotation with this tornado warning. I'm not hearing any more from the National Weather Service right now. I am sure that they are scrambling to get more information. There is a lot going on tonight for your Friday evening across portions of West Virginia, Virginia, and Maryland. We're seeing a lot more headlights under that overpass. We do not want to stop under an overpass. I know these people cannot hear me, but the next time a system pushes through, you'll have this in the back of your mind. Hey, that meteorologist that one time was talking about an underpass not being a safe spot to stop. It hinders traffic, and if we have a tornado pushing through, which any and all activity right now has not been confirmed, just radar indicated, but we do have a warning in the area, it acts as a vacuum, so it is not a good place to be. Please keep moving forward. We're going to see a lot of traffic. It is a Friday night. Everybody is getting off work at this point. Everybody wants to get home. But with a system like this, messy and scattered across multiple states and pushing through slowly at this point, it's going to wreak havoc on MoDOT, on the travel system, on highways and interstates alike. So please, please be safe and take it easy, and do not go out if you do not have to. We're seeing that activity off towards West Virginia die off, which is good. This is to the west of the I-81 corridor, and this is still in West Virginia, but that has been allowed to expire. Off towards Interstate 66, this has also been allowed to expire. That's good news. This is where we have seen a little bit of that rain-cooled air and a little bit more stability due to storms earlier in the evening. I just got a message from my producer here. All planes have been grounded at BWI Airport. That is a good idea with these storms, especially with this tornado warning just to the south and west of the metro. This is pushing to the north and to the east, and you're going to see here as we zoom in, this is allowed, and pardon me, I'm suffering through allergies here, so if you hear a sniffle here or there, bear with me. As we talk about this tornado warning here, still including North Laurel and portions of I-95 heading towards Columbia, it is pushing towards Catonsville and Woodlawn. If this is allowed to continue, it is heading towards your area. So if you are near Columbia, if you're near Ellicott City, even Elk Ridge and portions of Hanover, find your safe space. You do not have to run to it just yet, but knowing where it's at and how to get to it and have it prepped and ready to go is your best bet. And also having that phone charged so you can get updates. Never a bad idea. If you have a weather radio, I'm very proud of you. Just make sure you have some backup batteries as well. We're talking about Arrowhead, Guilford Square, Campbell is included in this, Hillcrest Heights, North Laurel, and once again, heading towards Columbia, Highway 100, and eventually, if it continues to be organized, it will head towards Ellicott City. And we're getting some questions on the National Weather Service chat here, asking about if we're going to get some warnings in the Baltimore area. Now, this is our only warning near the Baltimore area, and with its current track, it is looking a little bit further to the north, so possibly clipping, if it is prolonged, clipping the northern, southern, and western portions of the city proper. Now, as we talk about this system, there's a lot of rain associated with it, and that extends outside of this tornado warning. So rain is our primary concern for Baltimore City, Baltimore County, and surrounding areas outside of Howard County at the moment. Also, we're going to see a lot of these cameras showing high volumes of traffic, people slowing down, brake lights, backups, hopefully no accidents, but I wouldn't rule that out at this point, especially when these heavy batches of rain start to push through. Now, this thunderstorm warning that was here earlier, that yellow polygon around this red polygon here, has been allowed to expire. That's good for our surrounding areas, but we are still seeing quite a bit of lightning associated with this system near North Laurel and Columbia. This is Howard County until 8 p.m. So we still got a good 20 minutes on this before it is expected to expire. This is part of a large system, and I'm going to repeat myself a lot throughout this because we need to talk about a lot of factors here. We have had a lot of instability throughout the afternoon. We got sunshine, we had some shear, we had some CAPE values. Long story short, we have all of the ingredients, enough so much so to say that we have a tornado watch until the midnight hour, and enough of this coming together to create some tornado warnings throughout the area. I do want to talk about these red polygons further towards our west. They are starting to diminish and be allowed to expire. That is good news. We want these off towards our west, although not in our area. We want them to lose energy. We want them to lose momentum as they push in. We want them to battle some more stable rain-cooled air and fall apart and collapse before they hit Maryland. Although it's not ideal to get this much rain, it is helping to stabilize us as we push forward into the evening. And the further into the evening we go, little by little, we will become more stable due to the rain and due to the loss of sunlight. This will help us regain some stabilities and hopefully combat some of these strong thunderstorms that are pushing through our area. We're looking at US 29 and US 29 North here, and we're seeing those hazard lights push through again as we look at 29 North especially. You're seeing a lot of traffic here, a lot of people slowing down, a lot of people running into rain. You even see those rain droplets on the camera here. I'm actually going to turn to graphics here to show downtown. We're going to look at the harbor because just to the south and to the west, we're dealing with a lot of rain and we're dealing with a lot of lightning off towards Howard County. We don't see that here, but we see a lot of the gray, and look at that congestion on those roadways. We see a high volume of traffic here and a lot of rain still on the roadways. We don't see a whole lot of active rain, at least with this camera here, but you see a lot of movement downtown. Hopefully, if this system does start to push in, we see a lot of these people get to their destination and these roadways clear up a bit. But we'll continue to check in on this as we go into the next few minutes and by the history of the system into the next few hours as well, at the very least to talk about some severe thunderstorm warnings. So once again, at the 7:30 mark or so, my producer came in here, Maddie. She was nice enough to write me a note and let me know that all planes, once again, have been grounded at BWI, which is a good decision, especially since we have tornadoes in the area. We're going to look a little bit closer at this system here to see if it is falling apart at all. See, you see those reds and green, and although it's not a strong coupling there, red, that's winds going away from radar. Green, those are winds going towards radar. And when they combat each other, that causes some rotation. And right now, this is showing that there is some radar indicated rotation along with some lightning and a strong thunderstorm right over North Laurel and portions of the I-95 corridor. This is heading towards Columbia. And once again, this is until 8 o'clock, right on the mark. And so it looks like 15 more minutes at the very least with this initial issue of a tornado warning. Once again, not a strong coupling, but enough to warrant a tornado warning for Howard County until 8 p.m. We're seeing a lot here on this correlation coefficient. Little messy. It basically lets us know if radar is picking up a little bit more than rain or a little bit more than hail potential for these thunderstorms. I'm not seeing a strong indicator of anything being thrown aloft, which is good. This may still just be rotation up in the clouds, but nonetheless, I'm still going to say, North Laurel, you are not in the clear yet. Please still stay in your safe space. Columbia, this is heading to you next. We are waiting for a little bit more information on the history of this, and it does look like the National Weather Service has gotten back to us. So let's see. The National Weather Service is saying, yes, some of this system will move over Baltimore, the metro, from southwest to northeast between now and roughly 10 and 11 p.m. Once again, this tornado watch is until midnight tonight, rolling into Saturday. So we got a long night ahead of us, but hopefully we're running into a little bit more stability. It does look like the possibility of two events. We have this initial for your Friday, and then rolling into Saturday, this low pressure system starts to move a little further to the east, and we'll see some wraparound moisture associated with a strong cold front and maybe a little bit more activity as we roll into Saturday morning. So we got a long night ahead of us, but hopefully things start to die down. I'm putting it out there into the universe that things will start to die down here as we lose sunlight and as we gain a little bit of stability. But for now, Hillcrest Heights, North Laurel, heading towards Columbia, portions of Burtonsville, Highway 29, 32, and portions of the I-95 corridor. This is not the time to be outdoors. You are under an active tornado warning for Howard County until 8 p.m. We're looking at these total strikes here, and it does look like in the past 15, 30 minutes or so, we're seeing a little less lightning. That's a good indication moving forward. What I would like to see with radar here is more of this breaking apart, more of these vibrant colors starting to separate and lead to green and blue, indicating lighter rain pushing in and this system losing a little bit of its momentum and of its energy. Let's look at Montgomery County, the history of this system before the tornado warning was issued for Howard County. It was in Montgomery County and portions of Anne Arundel County. And with it, since it has moved a little further to the north, we're able to collect a little bit more information from the history and the damage, if there is any, of this storm system pushing through. And right now, the emergency services is saying no damage reports in Montgomery. That is good. 911 call volume appears to be fairly normal for a Friday evening. That is also good. That is leaning towards more of a radar indicated rotation, more so than on the ground. I'm glad we're not getting reports of any damages from this system. Also, no significant rises of waterways per our county flood sensor network. This is also very good news considering we are under a flood watch into the wee hours of Saturday morning. Looking now at another camera here, this is US 29 North at Broken Land Parkway. Thank you again, Kelly, for the pronunciation on this. US 29 North. We're seeing a little less activity under the overpass. Good. That's great news. We're still seeing some activity, but it does not look like these roadways are overly congested. It does look like that rain is easing up just a little bit. It's still hazy in the foreground, but we're still seeing those roadways move at a good pace and no blocked off areas. Not too many hazard lights, although as we continue forward, they are starting to put on their brake lights, and a few hazard lights have started. So just drive carefully. If you absolutely have to be out tonight, I do not recommend travel outside of necessary, mandatory travel, because at the very least, we are getting some heavy rain pushing through. Total strikes for this system here in Howard County down to 0. That's good. We want it at 0. We're still under this polygon, this red polygon, until 8 p.m. We still got 12 or so minutes until this is going to be allowed to expire. Still seeing a little bit of indication of some strong winds, a little bit of rotation with the reds and greens there. And so Hillcrest Heights, this is just to the north and to the east of you. North Laurel, it's still to the north and to the east of you, but you're still experiencing some high winds at this point, and still a relatively strong thunderstorm. So I'm not letting you out of your safe space if you are listening to me just yet. I would say Columbia and Ellicott City, think about heading to your safe space. This is still having a bit of rotation with it, radar indicated or not. It still has some rotation with it. So I'm going to say you're next up to head to your safe space as the system continues to push to the north and to the east. Switching back to reflectivity here and zooming out a little bit, less activity. That's good. Less activity than the beginning of the 7 o'clock hour. Most of our western tier near West Virginia, those tornado warnings have been allowed to expire. We're still seeing some severe thunderstorm warnings, which not the greatest, but still hopefully better than radar indicated or tornado on the ground. Any sort of condition like that, a thunderstorm warning is more favorable. So as we talk about this system here, we are currently seeing 4 active tornado warnings. 1 in the area, Howard County, until 8 p.m. tonight, and then further towards our south, just to the north of Waldorf and near La Plata. Actually, the La Plata one has been, it's still here. It's still alive. This one is a little further to the south, and to the south near Annapolis, we're seeing here Anne Arundel County. And stopping this here so we can get a little bit more information and turning the lightning off so we can get a better view. This one is until 8:15 p.m. So we're still going to be talking for a little while. This is to the east of Clinton. This is near Upper Marlboro. There are 2 separate tornado warnings here. There's one near Rosaryville, near Highway 301. This is until 8 p.m. in Prince George's County. And then this one here in Anne Arundel County until 8:15. This includes Iron Pot Landing, Pindle, Drury, Bristol, Baynard, Rustic Knolls, and Brookridge Manor, Croom Acres, as well as Croom. And further to the west, we are seeing Landtree, Sunrise Hills, and looks just to the north and to the east of Gwynn Park. So we are dealing with 2 more tornado warnings, one in Prince George's County until 8 p.m., and then another in Anne Arundel County until 8:15 p.m. With this, we are seeing some strong indications of heavy rain, some strong winds, and a little bit of either hail or some debris aloft, indicated here by these, let's call them vibrant colors here. We're also seeing a little bit of a stronger coupling just to the south and to the west of Upper Marlboro. I'm going to take just a second here to take a sip of water so I sound a little bit better on the airways here, so pardon me for just a second. Okay, I am back. Voice still sounds the same, but I am back for the evening. So Rosaryville, Highway 301, Upper Marlboro, Highway 4, it does look like you're in this area. This rotation is near Brookridge Manor, Mount Calvert, Bristol Landing, and just to the south and to the west of Upper Marlboro. So these are the areas with my primary concern here for Anne Arundel County. We are dealing with radar indicated rotation here and hopefully a little bit more information from the National Weather Service soon on these systems. There is a lot going on for your Friday evening. This is not our only area of concern. We still have this Howard County system here a little further to the north, expected to expire in the next 7 minutes or so. We're still seeing some indications of rotation here to the north of Hillcrest Heights, to the north of North Laurel as well, heading towards Columbia. So we are going to be talking for a while. Since we've been focusing on these 2, mostly in Howard County and Anne Arundel County here, just to the south of Annapolis, let's take you through a forecast just to get a little break from radar. We're still keeping a close eye on it, but let's still talk about a few more things as we go into the evening. Especially with this graphic here, you can still see the red polygons. You can still see the active tornado warnings in the area. You just don't see radar behind it. So this sea of yellow here is a tornado watch. This was issued just past the beginning of the 5 o'clock hour. It extends into the midnight hour of tonight, rolling into early Saturday morning. With this, with a watch, and this includes the majority of the state here, this means we have all the components of severe weather, being a severe thunderstorm warning, or as we see here, an active tornado warning. Radar indicated at this point, but still poses a risk to oneself or one's property. So take these things seriously. We will be talking throughout the duration of these 2 tornado warnings, 3 if you count one a little out of our viewing area here, but we'll be talking throughout the duration of it. We'll also be talking in and out of broadcast with this tornado watch. And the National Weather Service here and the Storm Prediction Center really nailed it on the head with calling these things earlier on in the evening. And as we progress forward here with this next graphic, you're going to see another sea of yellow. And this is the severe outlook. This is what we look towards. It's a ranking system, 1 through 5. Outside of the marginal risk is 0. It's typically what we see for just some thunderstorm potential outside of severe parameters. We're in the market of 2 out of 5 here with that yellow, indicating we have the potential, once again, of some severe thunderstorms, which we have seen, and the potential for some tornadic activity. So, once again, nailed it on the head, guys. Good job there. We also saw a 5% risk for tornadic or tornado conditions. Also, bullseye. They did a good job on that as well, as we are seeing some active tornado warnings. Nothing confirmed as far as on the ground, and from our reports from Montgomery County Emergency Services, it does look to be just radar indicated, but nonetheless, we need to be in our safe space. We need to take these things seriously because we are dealing with the potential for some harm and some damage with these systems. All associated with this low pressure system, very strong low pressure system pushing through, which eventually will sweep a cold front through, a strong one at that, as we go into Saturday. Once this moves offshore, we'll get a breath of fresh air and of relief as we roll into a new month and a new forecast. Your Sunday looking fantastic. Your Saturday, a little dicey. We do still see the potential of some showers and storms as we go into your Saturday afternoon, thanks to this frontal system just causing a little bit more instability here. Seeing some more rain start to push through, and traffic is still very heavy for Baltimore. We are seeing a little bit more activity start to pop up towards our south. So I'm going to take us back to radar here just to talk about a few more things. And you can see a little further to the south now near La Plata, and even further south of Lexington Park, another tornado warning.
So, Abigail, I'm going to join you right now to give you a little bit of a break because
absolutely
this is going on. The fact that we've extended into Anne Arundel County to 8:15, what does that mean in terms of the system that we're watching?
So this system has been pushing through, and we also see a green polygon here, which I believe is a flash flood warning. This is for Prince George's, and it's attached to portions of Howard County and starting to push towards the very southern tier of Baltimore. So to go back to what Kelly was asking, this is through 8:15 p.m. Through 8 p.m. for this Howard one here. That just means the longevity, the life of this storm is expected to last, to hold its form until around 8 p.m. This is not an exact cutoff. This could be extended. And so that's why when we talk about areas surrounding, like Columbia, which is just now being clipped by this tornado warning, portions of Ellicott City, Elk Ridge, Hanover, we want to include you in this, even though you're not in that red polygon or the tornado warning, because even though it has this 8 p.m. cutoff, that does not mean that a new one won't pop up or that this system won't regroup and reorganize and continue on its path to the north and to the east.
And you
That's a
know,
good question.
this is scary weather, so we want to give people some reminders of things that they can do to stay safe during this type of situation as we monitor this tornado warning. Seek shelter, obviously, immediately. Go to the lowest floor of your home, basement, maybe an interior room with no windows. Cover yourself with blankets, pillow to protect against any debris, and monitor the weather reports and updates at this point because this weather is changing at any minute. Take a look at the traffic that we're looking at here on 29 North. Maryland 108, just barely moving because of the downpour. Actually, we're experiencing some rain here in Towson. We just had a coworker run out and drenched when coming back into the building. Coming up to that 8 o'clock deadline, that is for Howard County, correct?
Yes. We are talking right now to see if that has been allowed to expire, so I will get
all
right back
all
to
right.
you.
But again, 8:15 now for Anne Arundel County as we continue to monitor the situation. You know, just 2 weeks ago in a very, very similar situation on the Black-Eyed Susan night with a storm. That was more of a wind-driven storm. I'm not sure if this is as wind-driven as what we were seeing a couple of weeks ago.
We've seen a history more so in West Virginia of some stronger winds, but this certainly has the potential, especially with severe thunderstorm warnings. That's part of the criteria.
But again, we're going to continue to monitor the situation. Abigail's been doing a great job kind of manning the front right here as we watch the storm move through our area. Again, it was really Howard and Anne Arundel County, which we really haven't seen. Howard has expired?
Howard has been allowed to expire.